Tim, welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Well, it's finally here. This is the big one. Arguably the ultimate Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Limited Edition. This is the 2012 Michael Schumacher 44mm Royal Oak Offshore Platinum Limited Edition of 100 pieces. You can see this Michael Schumacher Limited Edition and purchase it on our website, watchyouwant.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now, this watch on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, is the luxury watch of your dreams. With mass that almost feels heavier than anything Michael Schumacher might have driven during his career. This watch really impresses. It has immense visual and physical presence on the wrist. You can never forget you're wearing this thing. Again, my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and this watch fills out every square millimeter of it. You can wear it comfortably with a smaller wrist, but make no mistake, you've got to be of a mind to love the oversized sports watch look, because this watch gives you a lot for your money, and it is a lot of money. It looks and it feels every inch the part of a $100,000 watch, and it is. Now, you'll note that some of the elements that make this one ergonomically agreeable are the broad cushion-shaped case. Now you can see it's almost about as wide as it is tall, so it distributes its incredible mass quite well. Likewise, the lugs are nicely downturned with a very supple and surprisingly flexible rectangular scale alligator strap. Now the conventional offshores generally use the ridged hornback leather strap, and they have for the most part since 2007. That one doesn't like to flex, it's heavily bolstered. In my opinion, it doesn't play well with a smaller wrist, whereas this rectangular scale special edition strap, blue with contrasting red stitch, really does fold easily and curve nicely around a smaller wrist. You can see you can pull it almost straight down to fit a smaller wrist comfortably, and my sort of seat of the pants or top of the wrist impression is that this is one of the most comfortable straps AP has ever issued on any Royal Oak Offshore, and it's befitting of the quality of this Michael Schumacher Platinum Limited Edition. Now, the case itself, the bezel, the dial, all of them are unique to the model, but you do see some touching tributes to some of the best Royal Oak Limited Editions of the past. You can see the broad, Richard Mille-inspired rectangular pushers that debuted on the 2004 Juan Pablo Montoya, likewise the dominant Motorsports themes on the bezel and the dial that originated with the Rubens Barrichello 2 of 2006, but the Michael Schumacher brings some new tricks to the table. Of course, moving inward from the bezel, you can see that the signature Royal Oak Offshore oversized bezel bolts here are actually shaped to resemble automotive lug nuts with their outer edges relieved at the edge of the bezel. It adds a more articulated technical look to the bezel itself, and moving inward, you can see more nods to Michael Schumacher's glorious career. His 91 F1 victories were amassed in the course of 7 world titles, and you can see these colored stars, 7 of them, on the concave chapter ring that also serves as the tachometer. 2 of them in blue for his championships with Benetton, and then 5 of them in Ferrari Racing Red, or as it's sometimes called, Italian Racing Red. You can also see the Motorsports calibrations of the tachometer, which has a little bit of a depth effect because it cantilevers out and over the minute and the hour track, itself blazoned with a Motorsports checkered flag motif. It's a nice little sort of humorous nod and a wink, and an acknowledgement to the fact that although Michael Schumacher is an august character in F1, and this is an incredibly expensive watch, luxury watches in motorsports are about having fun and a good time, and this watch gets that. Now, it's also animated by a nice color palette of anthracite, white, blue, and red that adds life to the dial. Moving inboard from that hour and minute track, you can see the mega tapisserie in a sort of anthracite color. That's the waffle or hobnail cut that's common to the Royal Oak family and the Royal Oak Offshores, but it's enhanced by the presence of these countersunk sub-registers, each of which features a special chapter ring to define it, and easily readable high-contrast calibrations with the slightest and most subtle geoshape pattern within each one. Nicely done. They're paired with a almost invisible black, red on black date wheel beneath the inverted Cyclops eye viewer. That is to say, unlike the Rolex system, the magnifier is within the dial rather than atop the crystal, but you can see that contrasting red date ring within. Now, the crown guards and the crown are in titanium, again inspired by the 2004 Juan Montoya. These are shaped in the form of automotive exhaust stacks of the type you'll find in Formula One, with the crown itself designed to evoke motorsports internal gearing such as you'd find in a transmission or differential, with an inset AP logo on a red metallic backdrop. Now moving around to the opposite side of the case, you can see the in-house Audemars Piguet 3126 modular chronograph caliber with a 3840 module. This one is a real piece of work. Over 360 pieces. This watch, which features bidirectional winding, ceramic rotor bearings, a Gyromax style free-sprung balance, a dual-anchored balance bridge, and a 55-hour power reserve, brings the best of Valet de Joux watchmaking and finishing standards to the motorsports world, because you can see that the blackened gold winding mass features the raised Michael Schumacher signature, MS. It's nice that a signature is easily recognizable, because it really adds character to the watch and personalizes it. But it's surrounded by a frame that sort of mirrors the automotive lug-nut motif of the bezel itself, this one elaborated by the appearance of spokes, each one anchored by a caseback nut in the form of an automotive lug-nut. Now, to cap it all off, even the plot points that join the strap to the case are in the shape of automotive brake and accelerator pedals. Since this is a Schumacher, I'm just going to call all four of them accelerator pedals. It would be more in character. You can see this exquisite, massive, beautifully made, and exceptionally rare Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Michael Schumacher limited edition, 44mm in platinum, one of only 100 made. Take it home on watchyouwant.com.